Hello, it's Kevin here. Time for a video. What we're going to do now, we'll take a look at this essay from a subscriber, and I'm going to mark it according to the criteria, which I have here. And I'm going to show you a Band 9 example, which I wrote this morning, just for this, to illustrate my point. Okie doke. So, first things first, I'm going to check the word count. What do we have here? Word count 279. Okay, that's not too bad. 300, or just under would be fine. So, two-part question: cause and effect. The number of students studying science at university is constantly declining. What do you think are the causes? And what effects will this have on our society? Okay, let's have a look. So, restate the topic, answer both questions in your introduction. Question 1, paragraph 2, question 3, 2, paragraph number 3, conclusion to wrap it up at the end. Should be about 12 sentences, maybe 13, maybe 14 at the absolute most, and that will be fine. So, statistics reveal. Well, it should be capitalized, and statistics don't. It doesn't say anything about statistics. Where does it say that? A steady reduction in quantity of the science students. Okay, well, again, you need to mention university. It could be science students anywhere at school. A steady reduction. Constantly declining is not necessarily the same thing. It's close. In my perspective, or from my perspective, in my view, is better. It is due to their hard and strict subject materials, and also the lack of appropriate prospective job opportunities. Okay. This situation could lead to long-term negative side effects on technology and economic growth, not economic growth. Okay, today's, now, I don't know, is it supposed to be a today, a comma, a discourse marker, or is it supposed to be today's young generation genitive case? Today's young generation tends to have more entertainment and enjoy their life more than their previous generation, or the previous generation. Okay, what's that got to do so far with the constant decline of students studying science? Well, we'll read on. It holds them back from study in such a, well, why do we have singular article and courses? Hard and stiff? I don't think we'd use stiff to refer to courses. And why is that a separate sentence? You could have made that a single sentence. We usually prefer to take part in those study courses that are closer to reality. Wouldn't you say that science courses are closer to reality, because science is empirical? It's the study of what is. It's not like social science or art, isn't it based in reality, science? Okay. These refer to master because they're closer to reality, where you have an easy conception, easy concept, or concepts to grasp, such as designing, art, and marketing. Well, I don't know if they're closer to reality, because science is hardly abstract, is it? All right. Additionally, there are more thriving offers related to other subjects compared to the science field, of science. For instance, numerous employment opportunities or jobs. Why not simply say jobs in business and marketing, and the high turn. Now, are you talking about turnover of staff? What is turning over? Concrete evidence. Well, it's not really. How is it concrete evidence? You haven't produced any evidence. Simply saying numerous employment opportunities are concrete evidence. How is that evidence of anything? That's not an example, is it? Since science is the base of all knowledge, well, yeah, a decrease of its applicants, or a decrease in its applicants. Applicants, do you mean those who apply science? Because that's not quite the same. And its applicants could have a tremendous negative impact on everything. Most innovations are attained. Do you attain innovations? I don't know if that's a correct verb to use. Are attained by researching procedures. You mean by research? What exactly is a researching procedure? By researching universities. Therefore, fewer researching could take down, you mean reduce the rate of technological innovations. Well, you said most innovations are attained, so technological innovations aren't. Okay. Moreover, the technology, what technology? What are you talking about? Is precedent to our global economic achievements. I'm not sure what that actually means. Technology is precedent. What you mean? It's vital. It's important. It drives the economy. And how can you have a global economical achievement? Achievement in what? You mean the level of GDP? What does that mean? We know if the internet and advanced transportation systems were not existing or did not exist, business would not be so prosperous. Simply, the ability to make to plus infinitive more connections is one of the most important factors for thriving business. We don't need a definite article there. And an advanced technology makes third-person S it possible. Okay. All in all, I believe a ceaseless reduced number. That doesn't mean the same thing. It doesn't mean what you think it does. Number of science students, and why is there a comma, is going to dramatically affect our future societies. How many societies do you think we have in both aspects of technology and economy? However, the authority, what authority? You mean authorities in general could inhibit it? What, you mean reduce it or limit it with put forward by, I think this is what you mean, putting forward some proposal or proposals for appropriating more benefits to science students and research. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that means, but let's take a look at the criteria now, and we'll see what. Okay, so let me get my pen. Task response. How well do you answer the question? Okay. So, do you address all parts? Do you fully explore the question? Is your position clear? Developed? Does it directly answer the question? Do you have good support? In other words, good examples, evidence. Simple assertion is not an argument. Is the position clear? And as you see, it goes down because of the ideas. How good your ideas, how good the evidence in supporting material is. So let's see. Where are we? Back to okay. So what do you think are the causes? What effects? So introductions. Okay. Today's young generation or younger generation doesn't want to step on my thought previous generation. What's that got to do with it? Okay, a little bit vague. holds them back from studying in such hard and stiff science courses? What kind of science? Are you talking about physics or chemistry or what? Usually prefer, according to whom, to take part in those courses. Close to reality, easy concept, designing art and marketing. Where's your evidence for this? Additionally, more thriving offers related to other subjects. Again, evidence. Assertion is not an argument. Numerous employment opportunities in business and marketing. What, who, how, where, what country, how many. Concrete evidence. Well, it's not, is it? It's hardly concrete when you produce no evidence or figures or data whatsoever. Okay, since science is based on all knowledge, decreasing its applicants, tremendous negative impact. What innovations are you talking about? What research? What universities? Few researching could use, again, what are you talking about? Technology is precedent. If the internet did not exist, but they do, and what's that got? And what's transport got to do with science? What's that got to do with student numbers for physics, for chemistry, biology, etc.? What's transport got to do with that? Business would not be so prosperous. So before the internet, no one ever did business, ever, anywhere. Are you sure? Simply the ability to make more connections, the most important factors of foreign business technology makes possible. Well, yes, but again, this doesn't have anything to do with student numbers, not specifically. You haven't connected it. Not as such. So, okay. So, clear, direct answer question, ideas, no. Overgeneralize. Well, some students doing some research in some place, that sounds a little bit general. A lack of focus. Well, yeah. Technological innovations, technology. What are you talking about? All parts of a prompt. Main ideas are relevant, but insufficiently developed. And the evidence, it's just not there. Is it? I mean, let's have another look, So, today's generation has more entertainment. Okay, who says so? Again, who says so? More thriving offers, that's pretty general. That is pretty general. Doesn't really tell me a great deal. So I'd probably give that 6. Cohesion and Coherence. The message can be followed effortlessly. Well, not really. Logical sequence. Paragraphing's good. Logical progression. Clear progression. Clear central topic which is developed. Kind of. Said not was it clear? No. I think, is there a clear progression, information, ideas? I think probably 7 for cohesion and coherence. It's not that bad. We can see, there's a central topic, but there's no clear progression. What do I mean? Well, I have an example which I'll show you later. So, today's generation, they prefer more thriving. There's no evidence. There's no connection for that. Now, let's take a look at the vocab. Okay, vocab. Wide range, accurately, appropriately, skillful use of uncommon items. Okay, let's take a look. In my perspective, hard and strict. We don't really use those in collocation. Appropriate perspective. Job opportunities, that's not too bad. Long-term side effects. Economic, not economical. Draw life more. Hard and stiff science courses, that doesn't really collocate. Usually prefer, okay. Concept is the conception. More thriving offers. Trying to think of it. So there's some good vocab here. Technology, technological, technology. Okay, could have paraphrased that a little bit more. Technology, economy could be paraphrased a little better. But I don't think it's bad. It's not so bad. There's some good items there. 6? No, I will give it 7. There's some occasional errors in affirmation, but they don't really detract from the meaning. So I give it 6, 7, 7. Now grammar. What we do, we count the sentences, right? So it's a number of sentences without a mistake. So it's not the mistakes, it's a number of sentences that you produce without a mistake. So let's have a look. How many sentences do we have in this essay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is that all one sentence? Yeah, that's quite long. 13, 14 sentences, right. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I have some mistakes there. That's 3 sentences. 4. Oh, right. Well, there's only 4 sentences out of 14 that don't have a mistake. Every 3 sentences are frequent. Well, no, they are not. It's not bad, but they're frequent, but they don't really cause difficulty. I would give it 6 for that, so I give it 6, 7, 7, 6. So what's 6, 7, 7, 6? I'm terrible at math. 7, 7, 14, 6, 20, 26. What's that? Divided by 2, 13. What's that? 6.5. Okay. According to my dubious grasp of mathematics, that should be 6.5. So, not too bad. It could be better. The main thing here, obviously, there's quite a lot of grammar mistakes there. You should have got more for grammar, vocab, but there's some errors in word formation, in verb forms, articles, etc. So I would work on those. Cohesion and Coherence is not too bad. Task response does need a bit of work though. It's too general. Let's have a look. Again, assertion is not an argument. Today's generation prefers more thriving up. So what opportunities, what offers, what subjects, what are you talking about? What research, what innovations? I mean, you only mentioned the internet and transport. Internet is kind of computer science, is transportation systems, is that science. And business existed long before the internet, so I'm not so sure how you can say that business would not be prosperous. So, okay, I can see, but and again, you don't really connect the lack of students leads to lack of research. Well, where? Who, how, where, what country? In your country, in the entire world? So it's a bit general, I have to say. It's a little bit vague. So now, let's take a look at my sample, which I wrote this morning, just for this essay. So, 300 words, I think I made it. Let me just check. What did I do? 293. That's good. So, there is a seemingly constant decline in science student numbers at university these days. So I don't mention anything that's not in the topic. No statistics. I mention it's a university. So answer the questions. In my view, this is due to a poor public perception of scientists in the UK. Now you notice I'm, like with all the essays, you start broad and you funnel down to be specific and focused, right? So I'm talking about student numbers at uni, and I'm going to talk about my personal experience in the UK. And I do say this, that this is, particularly for the UK. I also believe this phenomenon will lead to scientific research moving to other countries in the future, and I do say in detail what that means. So, the progression. Every sentence must move on and have something new. So this, sentence 1, main idea, explain it, expand it, example, connect it back to the topic. Okay. When choosing a subject to study, many students want something that has a positive image and good prospects for the future. Science seems to suffer from an image problem in that scientists are seen as white-coated lab nerds who struggle to find success socially and professionally. Think of popular TV shows like The Big Bang Theory, which hardly portrays scientists in a flattering light, for example. This may explain the 25% drop of student numbers for chemistry in the UK over the last few years, due to the perception of science as an uncool subject to study. And that is a real figure, by the way, which I was aware of before I wrote this, but you can, invent anything, for example. So that's question 1. What's the causes? I say, well, the main cause, students want something that, they don't think that science is cool. They don't want to do science at uni because they think it's not cool. That's basically why. Okay, I think that's kind of a poor reason to make a decision, but that's up to the student. Now, what effects? So the upshot of this is less British undergrads taking science courses, moving on into research post-graduation. So you can see a progression, right? This in turn leads to valuable research projects moving overseas, as other countries which value science more than the UK have the graduate numbers to fuel this demand. So you can see how every sentence has something extra. It moves the argument on. Okay. For example, India has a cultural bias towards science as being a worthy occupation, which is true, which results in many young people taking science subjects due to parental pressure. And you can read about this on the internet. There's quite a lot of this. Indians think that science, it's like law or medicine. Okay, science, that's where they push their kids because it's it's a profession. So, for example, India has a cultural bias towards science as being a worthy occupation, blah, 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 which in turn means that India has high numbers of graduates in scientific-related fields, so many companies go to India for their research instead of to the UK. So you can see how this argument progresses. In conclusion, science major numbers are dropping off in many universities due to, in the UK at least, image issues. This is leading to valuable research projects moving to other countries where this is not a problem, and science student numbers are still high. So you can see what I have done there. I'll put this so you can see it all on the screen, so you can see the whole thing. So, decline in the students, why students don't think science is cool. I explain that. What does that mean? Less undergrads means less researchers, means companies who want to do research won't go to the UK where there's not enough people. They'll go to somewhere where the human resource is available. For example, in India. Okay, so there you go. I hope you can see the difference. So this is more specific and focused, right? So instead of saying some students in some innovations, in some courses, blah, 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 focus. So you start out broad and you narrow it down to a particular focus. That's what a good essay always does. Okay? And specific details, specific examples, such as chemistry, instead of simply science. Okay? Research, India, the UK, instead of graduates in some countries, wherever they may be. So that's what you've got to try and do. That's only 293 words. So does that work? Does it answer all parts of the question? Does it fully explore it? Yes, it does. Is it clear, direct? Yes, it does. Students don't feel science is cool. Less students mean companies wanting research will go to where the students are. Okay. Could we add anything to it? Not really. Well supported, well fully extended ideas? I think so. Can you understand it? Is the cohesion used in such a way that attracts no attention? Yes. There's no on the one hand, on the other hand, firstly. Or secondly, you don't actually need it. So task response, cohesion's good. The vocab's good. There's no errors. Well, obviously it's natural because as a native, you would expect nothing less. Any mistakes in the grammar and vocab? No. So you can see the main thing really is task, response, and coherence. The progression, the logical sequence of ideas and information. Okay. Less students in the UK for science. Why? They think it's not cool. Why? Because of the media image, like on television, scientists are nerds, which means that less students have applied. What does that mean? Less graduates going into research. That means that companies who want researchers will go to where the researchers are, such as India, etc., etc. Okay, so hope that helps. I'll leave this here on the screen and see you for my next video.